So I hate the fact that black men sit here and be like, oh, yeah, they be dogs.
That's the way men are built.
I think it's the way femininity is being presented. I think it's the marketing. I think it's the branding. It's the packaging.
They just mad because they got 2 or 3 degrees and they're getting finessed out of their vagina by guys that don't like women.
Is it really that hard to tell if you're really paying attention for a guy who does not like women at all?
Next topic, we talked about Derek Jackson and not representing who he was. He was fake, basically. And so we recently had another visit with Ace Metaphor. More precisely, Ace Metaphor was on the show with my favorite person, Cam Newton. And I say because he is well known for using women as a womb warmer. But anyways, outside Cam Newton. So Ace was on the show with Cam, and I believe that he was actually speaking to Cam on this issue because his conversation was about men don't really like women for real. They see them sexually. They only use them sexually, but outside of sex, they're actually not attracted to women. And to be honest, I thought Cam was so intensely listening because he was like, damn, this sounds like me. And so, but I could be wrong because I'm not in Cam's head, or his hat, but it's all good. And I'm just curious I'd like to start with the men on the panel in regards to, is it true? Are men just not sexually attracted? Are men just not emotionally attracted to women? Are they only sexually attracted to women and therefore they don't have the capability to accept her emotionally or spiritually? And this is why they ultimately do not like women. Is there some truth to his statement?
I was about to say, yes, please clean that up because when you say, so I was going to add the qualifier that, is it true that some men feel this way? I felt like it's a little general, so I don't want to get into my bag too early unless y'all want me to, but anybody want to speak to this?
We generalize the hell out of y'all.
That's cool. I'm
just
down.
like we do black women.
Okay,
so no, we going for the all. Ain't no
black men in general. Okay.
No niceties as to them.
What do you
Put
mean?
their ass on the ropes.
Oh, is that what you want? You want the ropes? Because I can give you the ropes me. Oh, you can give me the roast meat.
You people.
You don't want the roast meat. Go ahead, Delvin, because
No, you got
Devin. You want the roast meat? Or you want?
I love the roast
cool.
meat.
You want the roast meat? Great. All right. So first of all, what news was he breaking? I mean, let's start there. There are some men who don't like women beyond their vaginas or sex, I think specifically. Wow. Breaking news. I think I saw a scroll on CNN. That's number one. Number two, and
First I've heard of it.
And no. Let that breathe for a second. Hey, some men only want or value women for sex. And
Sir, he said breathe, not echo. Breathe, not echo.
I was giving it effect.
Thank you, Jay. We're a team operation.
I got you, dog.
Echo.
I mean, because
What's
listen,
happening?
if
Little ad-lib.
Jay did, like literally, right? So listen, I'm only saying, like, I've become a lot more cynical. I've accepted that I've become a lot more cynical and pragmatic in my older age, right? So when I say okay, if you're a woman, move around that. Okay, I get it. Maybe it's harder for you to discern because you really like him and you want to give him your whatever. And then I get all that. Some guys are like really good at masking it. Are they really though? Are you paying attention? Right? Like the guys that he's talking about, is it really that hard to tell if you're really paying attention for a guy who does not like women at all? Is that what we're saying? Because yes, I do agree there are some guys like that. But when you're saying at all, like, it's just only sex. Oh, he's just a narcissist. Oh, that's where I come up with these words, right? He's a psychopath. He's a sociopath. Like, y'all think some of these things are so good at being these things and pretending, oh my God, I didn't even know how icy and chill he was. He's like the guy from that movie, Grays. What's that bullshit? Come on, man. He wasn't that. The nigga was not that suave. He wasn't that good at lying to you this entire fucking time. So that's why I say, and so I'm not advocating these things. Right? Sure, I'm the guy that said, yes, it's important for women who can't have children. That doesn't mean I'm only making it about women's wombs, even though it's close to the vagina. right? So now there's two things that y'all are good for, right? But what I'm saying is that I do agree. No, I'm saying for the guy who might think that way. And let's separate the vagina from the womb because they're not the same thing. Let's be clear about that. One brings in life, is right. The other one may have more of a low level for some people sexual resonance, whereas the whole life spiritual thing is a completely different thing we talk about boom. So I do want to separate that. But all I'm saying is that there's no new news here. Okay. And yes, there are some men who move that way, just like I'm not going to do that because SNL would probably head off and doing that. But all I'm saying is that he didn't say anything new. And there are guys who are out here moving that way. And ladies, you should avoid them at all costs. But it's a crazy mixed up world. It's a dog eat dog world. You know what I'm saying? In the world of Snoop Dogg. And my cynical ass is not going to sit here and feel some type of way about the fact that, yes, a small percentage of men are moving like this, but way too many percentage of women are falling for it. And who's that on?
How do we know it's such a small percentage of men?
Because I know
mean,
men.
y'all men be talking like y'all be dating each other. Like y'all know who and how y'all present to
We
women
talk to
because y'all
each other.
don't. Y'all only know
We
the game
evolve.
that y'all play. And some are playing chess and some are playing checkers. Yeah, y'all talk over the coochie. Y'all don't talk over the game because y'all be lying to each other because it's a game for y'all too. So I hate the fact that black men sit here and be like, oh, yeah, they be dogs. Yeah, they be charismatic enough to hustle 10 bitches. You know why? Because the ratios are so off between single women, especially when you're talking about if you're only dating between black men and black women. If it's one black man to every 14, 15, 16 black women, and we're all vying for the same thing. And let's just say he has a good job, a good car, and a house. Oh, you are a commodity. I have friends that have all those accolades, and I look at them and be like, damn, I see why bitches want you. But you know who they are? They're the most, because they want me the most, then I don't have to have them. I have options. I have had a bum nigga who looks good, was dropping off something nice, had a good job, but was a piece of shit ass dude. Literally tell me that if you leave me, I have other options just as good as you, and you won't have options as good as me. And I had to sit back and be like, there might be some truth to that. Right? So yeah, most all of y'all niggas have and come with some kind of game. Now, and I ain't gonna talk about the marrieds and the pastors and all those because they come with some game too.
I agree with some of what y'all said. I agree with a lot of what y'all said, right? I don't think I don't know how many doggish men there are out there. You know what I'm saying? But I do know that doggish men can evolve. You know what I'm saying? Bam, you look at it way, right? I'm my only client, I'm the president. So just because so I do think the numbers of men that are not moving this way could be greater than we know. However, my real concern is that I don't want to see anybody get mischaracterized as one of these guys who's moving like that only sees women for their, you know what I'm saying, vagina. Like I appreciate Nick who appreciates the inside womb and the outside vagina of a woman, both inside and outside. He appreciates the wholeness. You know what I'm saying? I'm just playing. But anyway, so I think though the reason why I spoke of it that way is because I think it's the way femininity is being presented. Right? I think it's the marketing. I think it's the branding. It's the packaging. I think people like the product. You know what I'm saying? I think the product has some usages, but I think it comes with a lot of other stuff we're not really looking for right now in a marketer in our households. And I think that's why they're only getting like my grandson. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna land. My grandson. I've been finding little Lunchables all over the place, right? Outside in the yard by the pool, little Lunchable boxes, the pizza ones, right? It's the whole pizza in there. Now, I think the pizza one's nasty, but I'll get to my point. The point is, I found like 3 or 4 of them. This is not an accident. So I started looking. I asked him, I said, man, what's going on? Turns out he's just taking the Capri Sun and the candy. Ma'am, ladies, if you out there serving these dudes cold pizza ass coochie, right? Then don't blame us for taking the Capri Sun and the candy. You know what I'm saying? If all you got is a cold pizza personality, don't blame us for just getting our Capri Sun and candy and booking it. I said my piece and I hush.
That's why I'm single.
Listen,
y'all don't deserve me.
Go, Devin, my bad.
No, listen. Yeah, of course. There's some guys, but there's some of anything. You know what the hell does that even mean? I mean, what happens is when the girl ears get on and women hear this, he may have said some men don't like women for real. what gets heard with the girl ears is men don't like women beyond sex. So the nuance gets completely cut out, and then that's where the conversation goes sideways. And I don't think it's majority. There may be some. I don't think it's 49 or 48% of men. It damn sure ain't 51 or 52. We can, I think we can kind of find the middle ground in there, right? So there is a percentage of men. It's not even a plurality, right? But what happens, don't try to lump us all in there. But the problem with the women have is they want like me and Nick and Jay to go get those guys to like them for more than just their vagina. Like, y'all need to hold them accountable and get them together. I'm like, why we over here chilling? Why we gotta hope that they some grown ass men? Don't go and talk to them. They're just mad because they got 2 or 3 degrees and they getting finessed out of their vagina by guys that don't like women. That's a you problem, ladies.
Yes.
So I heard all of this, and so before I provide my perspective, I just want to ask this. So what do you guys think about the red pill movement then, and the fact that the red pill movement is so pronounced? If you honestly feel like it's a small majority or a small percentage of men who are moving this way. So what do you think about, or how do you even explain the red pill movement then?
I think that's a larger issue. That's a reaction to feminism in general. Those guys are in that camp a little bit, but I don't think that's a driving of the red pill movement because we don't like women, and that's the base of it. Now that premise, I just flat out reject.
Yeah, and I'll just kind of briefly say that much like what Jay was saying about the marketing problem on that side, it's like because people are pointing out certain things, it's automatically we don't like. I think we got to be able to separate between criticizing, whether it be that automatically means you don't like something. I mean, I think honestly, a lot of people like something that they criticize. So I don't think that it's a matter of the red pill movement or whatever. I think it's kind of blown out of proportion. But I certainly do think I'm going to bounce past it to you because I want to be more toxic and go back to something that T has said. So go ahead, Esther, before let me hear.
See, now I'm concerned.
How do we know, girl? I'm going to tell you how we know.
Because I actually had another question that I had.
Yay.
So the next question, so that was just the first part of the clip. The second part of the clip actually talked about finding a capable wife and how women end up being dependents versus a partner because the man was only looking at her sexually versus liking her emotionally and physically, right? I mean, emotionally and spiritually. And so I want to know in regards to that piece, as far as finding that partner, that capable partner, what do you guys think about that aspect of it when you look, if all you see is the vajayjay and men only want them for sex, does that hinder their ability to find a capable partner, or are they really just looking for that dependent?
That sounds good what he was saying, right? And honestly, in my own lived reflection, I do give a lot of credit to my wife in terms of who I am today. But not everybody's built like that. For some people, all they need is their wife to fit a particular function and form in their lives. Like that's not for everybody. So yes, in the most Disney progressive way where both people are having all this value and all this other stuff, yada, yada, yada. But for that guy, maybe he doesn't see a certain utility beyond that. And if it works for both of those people, I ain't tripping off of that.
A man needs a wife to partner with him to accomplish his ambition in life, his great dream, whatever that is, right? Now, she can't help him and partner in his dream if she doesn't understand his dream, right? But that's a whole nother thing. It just to this point, though, I mean,
Yeah, I'm going to shoot back at you too, Jay. I'm going to say that's bullshit
what?
too, Jay. That's
Why? Because what I'm saying, no, listen to me. If his dream is to come home every day to a warm dinner and a house that's clean, that's his ambition in life, right? Then he goes to find a woman and she said, I cook, I clean, this is what I do. It can be happily matched and he can be fine is what I'm saying. But I'm saying he needs to know his ambition and she needs to be able to understand his ambition or they're not going to be able to partner. If he's low ambition, that's cool. If he's high ambition, then she needs to deal with it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I think the context of what S&M was saying, though, was this idea that people will say, and I'm not opposed to it because that's my own reflection. Hey, finding a wife will help you do X, Y, and Z, right? It's a benefit in all these different ways. I don't necessarily push back against that. But the role that wife plays doesn't have to be your business counselor. Doesn't have to be like your psychologist. We just talked about the whole thing about a woman not being your everything. Right? So it just makes complete sense that, hey, you know what? Maybe she's just the woman that I trust to be the wife in terms of taking care of the home and taking care of my kids. And we fuck. Like who's to decide that that's like, oh my God, that's all you want me for? If it works for both of them, I'm not finna tell a man that he needs to find a wife to be his partner because he can't do X, Y, and Z without her. I'm not gonna do that. I may champion it, but I'm not gonna tell him he needs that for that. He may have his own purpose for that. That's all I'm saying.
Devin, you look like you chomping at the bit to say something.
No, actually, I don't disagree with my good brother Nick at all. I think, depending on the guy's needs, that might work for him, and that's okay. It's not for me to say, oh, well, your wife should be your consigliere and your prayer warrior and your this and your that, your sparring partner. Hey, listen, I may just really need you because I want you to cook amazing spaghetti dinners and send me, nudes every hour on the hour. Like, okay, that's you can't complain. You can't complain when she's not an Excel spreadsheet wizard because that's not what she signed up for.
Exactly.
That's not the utility you put her in
That's not what
place
she
for.
good at, huh?
Right, you just wanted that box and maybe that
That's what you
cleaning.
And the
want. So that's
spaghetti.
what you got. That's what you get.
That
And
might have
the
been all you
spaghetti.
needed.
Esther, we're gonna answer this damn question because I want to shoot back into you, and it's like you over here dilly dallying, and I'm trying to make space for you. You're talking about how do we know? What you mean we're men? How do we know? Go ahead. Before let me host myself. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me answer the question.
Go
Let
ahead.
me answer the question super quick
We
so
here trying
you
to
get
ask.
your shot back. So this is what I'm going to say. I actually thought that this was great. I already knew this, that some men already wanted women just for the box because they lead with that. That's the way men are built. That's the way they're conditioned from the time they were a young buck running around and watching their older brothers and fathers and uncles and so forth do what they do. So they're already conditioned to only want the boxes. They're already conditioned to believe that they deserve the box. And then they're conditioned to believe that and operate with women in that box itself, i.e. keep us in that box for some men. Now, what I will say is that what I did appreciate about this conversation was that he put it in simple speak because sometimes men and women don't understand simple speak. Right? They don't understand they don't make the necessary connection between they're like, oh, men don't like us, right? Or I know you guys seen this on social media. As soon as a man act like he don't like you, the first thing they say, oh, it's because he batting for the other team. Or they say, oh, he's gay or whatever the case may be without recognizing, no, he's sexually attracted. He just don't like spending time with you. He just don't like being with you because he don't like being around women. Women sound like cattiness in his ears or something like that. So he'll go for the box before he go with that emotional attachment and so forth. And so I thought that was actually a pretty good way to explain in simple speak, i.e. keep it simple, stupid, so that folks would have a better understanding and not just keep making these generic catchphrases of, oh, he must be gay. Oh, he must be banned for the other team without recognizing the nuances of it and understanding the psychology behind it. And so I say kudos to him for doing it. Y'all was like, oh, and. And so it's like, well, no. And he's explaining something that while y'all may recognize, other people, especially the people dating now, may not recognize and know the root of this. And that's what I appreciate.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? Because y'all women act like as men, especially those of us who are privileged to move a certain type of way of being in the company of other men who have had experiences. You ask us, how do we know? How would we not know? I get that y'all think y'all have an intimate experience, and that's true because that's a whole different vibe. And yes, men are not always being honest in certain ways to other men in regards to what's going on. But for those people who are only basing their information off of what people say, shame on them. That's not what I'm basing my information on, right? I'm basing my information on, I've seen guys pretend that they have no feelings whatsoever. And then like the minute that something happens and it's clear they got feelings. You know why? Because as much as they're saying one thing out of their mouths, their actions are saying something different, right? Men will pretend. We have been conditioned to pretend like we don't care to a certain extent. And in fact, sometimes when we show that we care, maybe it's seen as a weakness, or some of y'all don't like that, or it's not as attractive, but it doesn't mean that men don't care. This goes back to what I was saying before about discernment to a certain extent. You know what I hear a lot of times when you brought the whole red pill thing? I hear guys hurt. These niggas are hurt. You think people are hurt in situations that they don't care about? You think that's what happens? No. Like these people are hurt for situations that they actually do care about. And they don't know, some of them, maybe not all, but a lot of them just don't know how to articulate their hurt or how to process their hurt. It's no different than what I was saying about Joy Taylor in terms of her being triggered. These guys, some of them, many of them, and men, women or whatever, are having bad experiences. So what I hear from them is hurt. If you just listen to them for face value, then yes, maybe you'll assume that, oh, they don't like women. No, they've been hurt by women. Many of them have. Right? And maybe because of that, they may have a dislike for women. But at the core of it, if they had a chance to sniff or to be in the presence of, or maybe get a little, their whole dispositions would change. You dig what I'm saying? People talk a lot of shit when they're not getting what it is that they feel that they want. So that's why I say I do not believe it's a large number of men who don't like women for real. There's a large number of men who are not capable of communicating their life with women. There's a whole bunch of men who have been stifled or who've been taught to kind of bottle their emotions. There's a whole bunch of men who are hurt and are displacing their hurt for what their mama did to them, to the women that they're dealing with in their lives. But that does not mean that there isn't some genuine affection and connection for these men. It does not mean that they're gay.